Hey guys, so I need everybody to take a look at this from an analytical perspective. Now, um, everything we do, everywhere we go, like most people say, mostly now because of the hard times that we're going through, and people are really going to understand what I'm talking about right now because these things are super under review right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna speak about my experience for going to the Tony Robbins because it's the biggest experience that I had difficulty with. Now, I don't think a lot of people understand when they're being influenced on something. Okay, now when you go into a store, they do their best to make it look attractive. So in my case, at my home, I don't make it look attractive for anybody but myself. I keep it clean so that it looks nice when people come over, but if anybody judges or thinks that the way that I've decorated my house is inappropriate or not nice, don't really give a fuck. I don't care. But if you walk into a store, where a lot of places are heavily, a lot of people are heavily critical on what these places look like, so that they get the overall attraction when they walk in, when they see exactly what they're looking for on the wall. For people like me, that's gonna keep me in the store, okay? Which is It's advertising 101 and it's merchandising 101. Okay? So, another thing that people don't understand is like when you start working for companies and whatnot, there's heavy influencers, and this is what I'm going to be breaking down. So, when I went to the Tony Robbins experience, the number one thing that I noticed when I walked in, because the first night that I was there, was the fire that they had built. So what they had done is they've built a massive fire so that they can spread out all the coals and everybody can go and walk on them. This is what goes on the first night. Okay, not always. Some nights it's on the very end, but on this particular night it was on the first night. Now when I walked in, the first thing I noticed were all the logs were pointed like this. Okay. Now, anybody that has been watching any of the conspiracy stuff or the Awoken stuff that's been going on recently, and I'm going to post a video that goes in line with it, based on Lucifer, and it's basically visualization 101, so that we're like these symbols and whatnot, they're brainwashing tools. Okay? So the first thing that I noticed when I started going through my workbook, because I'm a visual person, and when I started going through my workbook, there was a lot of the symbolism. And so talking about finances, and so the first line is like your physical body. Okay, so your physical body is very similar to the way that your mom tells you how to treat it, right? So you eat healthy, you treat people nicely, and give, take, this, that, and the other thing. Team building 101. Okay, then your emotions, those, which is reactionary or not reactionary, relationships. So relationships should have fell between physical body and relationships, because in order to have a healthy relation or healthy life, you have to have your physical body and relationships and your emotions kind of all in one. So those should have been kind of all in one, but they're saying that time is a factor. Now, we all know that biblically time doesn't really matter. So I noticed that was a huge weird thing to me. Work, career, mission. So is your career, like your career and your money, though, like, yes, you have to have all of that in order to have all of these things, but is it really that important? Because you can do a lot of things that don't really cost all that much money. Finances, keeping your finances healthy. I mean, yeah, because it's easy to spend a lot of money, it's probably best to do that. And then celebrating your spiritual sense. Now, yes, you should be aware all of the time, but I'm going to break this down. I'm going to break this down as far as how I feel about it. But so as I'm going through the workbook, I'm noticing these things. So a lot of the wording that they have is very big, and so that you're screaming and you're trying to push a certain way of being and trying to find yourself kind of thing, and like just really getting y'all pumped up, which going to the gym, I'm totally fine with. Good with going to the gym. That's part of the lifestyle. Sure, yes. Celebrate and reward. Yeah, it's nice to be a good person. But, and then create your base. That's you as a kid. Challenge and grow. Hide and seek. Tag. One winner, one loser. Like, however you want to look at it. But, again, very triangular. Okay? Now, I have a huge hypothesis on the way businesses work, and I'm going to be very quick on this. So, most places, they have their CEOs and their heads. And then they've got their mentors, so the people that are from the CEOs to mentors. The mentors will mentor the brand ambassadors, your DMs, your managers, and your advertisers. Then the next level, the first level that you always see, and now I'm going straight to the bottom first, as opposed to going into the middle of this, because this is how the cookie crumbles. This is how you get yourself wrapped up into all of this stuff. Okay? Now, so when you walk into a store, like I was stating, you have your managers. So you have those people that are you have your people that are manning everybody, making sure that everybody's motivated to keep going in their day and that everybody's there for their 9 to 5, blah, blah, blah. Then you have your front line, so the people that are selling, and then you generally have a product to sell. Okay? So that's the base of it. That's the base of it in order to get you hooked. Okay? Now, if you're just a customer, you're hooked, and then you get your product and you go. If you are just going into the company, they give you all of these incentives and whatnot in order to give you an attraction level so that you want to do this, right? So generally the case may be big events. So big events would be events, parties, galas. They give you an attractive lifestyle to make it look like you're getting the best life. What most people don't understand is when you're going to these events and you're going to these galas, there's usually heavy amounts of drinking, heavy amounts of drugs, and that is the so-called lifestyle that you are working towards. Okay? when you go up to this level, what they don't tell you is they promise you close to six figures. So like anywhere from 70 to 200 grand in order to be in these levels. Okay? And in some companies, they're like 200 to 300,000 a year. Okay? So that's usually within your mentors and your brand ambassadors. Okay? What most people also don't know is that when you're going into these levels, you are giving up your life, literally. So you've got the drugs, you've got the alcohol, you got the events, you got the parties, okay? So that's taking up a portion of your life, okay? And then you've got your 60-hour work week in order to make all of this money. So what that usually leads to when you're doing a 60-hour work week, men, are you going to have time to see your kids? Women, are you going to have time to see your kids? No. So you're making all of this money so that a nanny can take care of your children? For what? For what? So that's, for me, that would be classified to be more of a huge rabbit hole. So generally speaking, you end up getting a divorce. You don't see your kids. What is that working towards, really? But yeah, so back down to the bottom line part of it. You've got your managers, your front line, you're selling products, and they tell you that we're working towards you not having to do too much work. In order to make enough money, you're gonna be doing your 9 to 5, and maybe you'll go home. They provide coaching programs, so they try and tell you that, oh yeah, no, we're gonna coach you. We're gonna tell you that you're good enough. You're gonna find yourself. You're gonna be successful. You don't have to do any of this stuff to be successful. You don't. They're gonna promise you personal growth. So when you were raised as a kid, your mom taught you how to be. Your mom taught you to be more individualistic. Your mom taught you to give and take and work as a team player and love and be around your family. If you go to these next levels when you're working, are you able to be around your family? Do you really want to sacrifice the whole fucking point on why you're working this hard to begin with? Look at this model. This model is in every fucking company out there. This model is in most churches that are not godforsaken. This model is everywhere. I'm classified to be a working class citizen. I'm still on the bottom of the food chain. Do any of you see me as not being successful? No. I'm gonna move on. So the next thing on this workbook is your new pure energy identity. New, or you've had your energy all along. You already know who you are, and that's what most would say is your inner child. You know what makes you passionate, you know what makes you happy. Do you need a fucking person? Do you need to spend hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for somebody to fucking tell you who you are? Do you need another mother to wake you up in the morning, aka a job? I'm not saying that working is not a good thing. I love working, you all know me, but Just put that in the back of your mind. You know your interests. You know what you like. You don't need anybody to influence you into thinking that galas, parties, drugs, alcohol are the lifestyle. They're not. We all know this. They have programs out there that stop you from doing drugs and alcohol. Also, money grabbers. And if you already know your interests, most of them don't need money. I mean, you might need to put gas in your gas tank in order to go and do it, but it doesn't usually cost very much. So, I classify this section to be bullshit. Bullshit. The next thing on here is your 10-day vital health challenge. You already went to school. You're already in PE. Your dad will take you outside, play with you, get you active. Your mom, when you're sitting there eating food, what's the first thing she tells you to do? Eat your veggies. Eat your vegetables. Again, you don't need to spend money to do that. Your parents already raised you to do all of this shit. So the way that I worded this section was, Mama knows best, or find a lady to help you with the healthy part. If you're find a lady that is good with it if you are already a woman, or if you're a man, then find a woman that is good at doing it. So, my overall experience with just the workbook itself, I went to the seminar, and there was a lot of dancing, a lot of this bullshit. You already know how I feel about that. When I went to really take it all in, I felt like I was being sold on things like new products and whatnot. I don't find the walking on fire thing to be super motivational. It didn't make or break who I was as a person if I was able to walk on fire or not. Everybody knows me. I'm very high energy as it is. So I don't need any of this shit in order to pull that out of me. I don't need any of that to tell me to go and dance. I love dancing as it is. But I just want everybody to know what I'm doing right now is not me trying to influence anybody. I'm not here to influence anyone. I simply lost my job, and I'm doing what the fuck I can to make money. That's it. I'll wake up when I can, talk to people when I can, and if you believe in me enough, then I hope that you help me out. Am I going to influence you into doing anything? No. It's not because I'm not high energy. It's not because I don't want you to do it. If you want to work with me, that would be fantastic. Because it would be nice to have somebody alongside me. But I'm not here to brainwash you. I'm not here to tell you that what I'm doing is fucking incredible and it's gonna lead me to the best lifestyle. I don't know. And based on all of my research, it's probably going to be the same rabbit hole that I've always fallen into. I found a product that I've believed in and I think is great, and I'm just going to keep trucking along with people that want it and want to use it, because it is great. I'm not saying it's not. I just don't want the fluffiness that comes with it. I get all ramped up, I get energetic about things, but I care about people as well. So I wanted to share my perspective so that people don't think that I'm trying to be an influencer, because that's not who I am. It's not who I am. Love you guys.